perfect temperature at the moment. It's not that hot, oppressive heat we had last week. This low pressure system moving over, hopefully bringing us some rain eventually. Now we have a close look at this warthog female, this mother. This is the mother of these two piglets. And looking closely, you can see how sharply curved her tusks are. There's a very deep curve to them. And one of the things that can help determine whether it's a male or a female is looking at the curve of the tusks of a warthog. The male's tusks are not as strongly curved as the female's, a lot thicker of course, and they tend to stick out to the side a little bit more. Of course, the other identifying feature are the warts on the face. And then of course looking at the back when they're walking. But just below the eye are a pair of warts, one on either side. They're not really warts, they're wart-like lumps. I don't know, possibly to protect the eye, could be. Let me move forward a little, we'll see if we can get closer on them. The elongated, broad face of a warthog, much the same way that a rhino's face is elongated, so that it doesn't have to have a long neck to reach its food, because a long neck wouldn't be as functional, no. A long neck would just not be very economical. It would require a lot more muscle, it would require extended or longer vertebra, and with the weight of the head, a long neck just doesn't work. So for the heavier head, you need a shorter, fatter neck, and therefore a much longer face, so that your face pretty much reaches your food, especially if you're feeding on the ground like white rhino and warthog. Of course, they've further adapted their feeding habits by going down on it's actually their wrists, not their elbows. They're down on their wrists. Some people say down on their knees, but that is incorrect, because they don't have knees in front. They have elbows which face backwards, the same as ours do, but they have very long wrist bones, and it's on the bend of the wrists that they bend down. Usually a sign of contentment and being very relaxed, and no sign of danger. As soon as there's anything to be concerned about that they need to look around for, they'll stand up. The Victorian style whiskers are the ones that I love. I just love those tufts of hair. I can take a page from Tara's book and talk about dung a little bit. And Tara's always said one doesn't pick up predator dung, and one doesn't. But this is fairly old. It has pretty much been washed through And it's very interesting, and I'm glad that Herman found it, because I found myself another gem. And you know, in the past, I used to look for a gem a day, whether it was a beetle or a particular insect, something. There was always this need for me to find something special every day, and the last few days I've had some very special finds. Anyways, don't know where to start. Let me start with this piece of bone. Now, actually, let me just show you. There are a number of pieces of bone, and there's hair. And the cats don't digest hair and bone. They only digest the meat part, so that the hair and bone, it doesn't get coughed out like a domestic cat, like a fur ball. It comes out in the dung. One thing that's very interesting is that it's lion-colored hair. And I'll show you even more interesting things. But the lion does, the stomach acids of a lion do sort of digest the bone. I mean, if we have a look at this bone, you can see it's, the stomach acids have etched it somewhat. And you'll often find that some of the bones have been etched by stomach acid. This bone is interesting in that it's a, well, I can't even tell what bone it is. It looks like a bone from a large bird, very light. I might be wrong. It's very, very hollow. And you can see, maybe you can, I don't know if you can, but maybe you can see the hair sticking through a hole at the top of the bone. Looks like it could be a wing bone. Anyways, that's how people in the past made sewing needles. So, fragments of bone and tufts of hair and the gem of gems. Okay, this is pretty clean. I mean, there are bits of grasses. There are bits of grass. Doesn't smell. It smells like a dog has just had a wash. So I'm guessing that there's been rain on this. But it is lion-colored hair, and the most incredible thing of all that comes out of it is a lion claw.
No way.
Yes, ways.
No way. How cool is that?
Now, I don't know if that, I don't think that is a sheath. It's not like the sheath when your cats are scratching their nails and the sheath comes off because the nails are constantly growing and they're shedding, almost like shedding a skin. This actually feels like it is from a lion. And it kind of, listen to me, for English. But it would appear that this could have been from one of the lion that were killed. But we haven't had rain since. This lion was also eating impala. Here's an impala hoof. So some of that hair is also impala colored hair. Impala hoof. They're a dime a dozen. And just other bone fragments. Here, this looks like from the knee of something. The top of the bone from the knee. Anyways, I need to keep rubber gloves in the car so I can use rubber gloves next time. But my hands are clean. But very interesting. Where is it? In my pocket somewhere. That's my find from the other day. The tip of that elephant tusk. Yes, it broke. Somebody tried to play with it and it cracked and this piece broke off of it. So I now have 2 talismans and my big mamba skin. Well done, Herman. No, none of the leopard tracks up ahead. Still got to find where he crossed this road, where he might have come through. If I don't find any tracks on this road in the next 50 to 100 yards, this leopard is sleeping somewhere in the bushes off to our right. Possibly was even watching me walking up and down the road. In which case his head might be sticking up now. Can't see a leopard when they're sleeping. Oops. Behind the buffalo thorns. Hello, Janet. Wondering if the lone lion at Gowrie Dam the other night was dozy? I don't even know Lion Dozy, Janet. I haven't the faintest clue, faintest idea. I don't know. I have no idea who he was. I saw some images sent to me from screen caps, and since there was no one to zoom in, I haven't heard anything. Haven't heard where he went to, haven't heard who he is, so I'm sorry I can't answer your question, Janet. As much as I would love to. Those are the questions I would love to answer. But there was also no way of knowing. Unless he was found and photographed. This leopard is somewhere in here. Go a little bit further, turn around, come back. I could easily have missed his tracks. If he went straight across the road, there might only be 2 or 3 tow tracks crossing the road. But I don't think so.